Welcome, guys. Welcome to Lane of SmackDown with your host, Aaron Will Order. What's up, guys? It's Friday. Yeah, so, guys, to let you all know, I think I'm going to do a wrestling stream every Monday. Well, I do a wrestling stream every Monday, but I think I'm going to do one every Friday, too. Friday in the afternoon, Mondays just before Raw. I think that's going to be the overall plan for what I'm going to do for wrestling talk. And there'll be hopefully to make more videos in between also. Okay. Sprinkle in some more video in between. Some wrestling and sports related videos. And not sure who's gonna pop in the chat. Hope to see some new people, some familiar people in the chat. Red maybe. Red most likely. I don't know. Finbar may pop in, maybe. Yeah, there's Red. He saw this. He'll definitely pop in. Yeah, I think Red will pop into this. All right. All right. So yeah, we're gonna talk. So yeah, there's a lot of things to talk in wrestling today. I know you're here, Red. I know you're around, Red. I want to see something also. All right. All right. Right. So yeah, we're gonna talk. All right. So Gunther, Jey Uso, CM Punk, Okada, Omega. What happens in AEW Dynamite? What happened in AEW Dynamite? R-Truth / One Killings. No. Okay. Talk about a lot of shit in wrestling today, man. A lot of stuff. So Gunther and Jey Uso. Okay, we're gonna talk that. I don't know if anybody saw a title change on Monday Night Raw was happening. I don't know if anybody if anybody saw that happening. And I think And I think I forgot to talk about that match, previewing that match on Monday. I think I forgot about that. About talking about that match. So that's my fault. It's my fault for not talking about it on Monday. If you watch my show on Monday, but here we're not here. Here, here, shine bright like a diamond. Hey, Red. Red's the only one here. I don't know if Finbar's here. Red, become a member. Red. Red become. Oh, Red is a member. Red is a member. See perks. I gotta make emojis on this channel. Yes, true. I just true, but I can't. Red. Red. I'm not gonna be here long. This is a solo stream. This is a solo stream. I'm not here for a long stream. I'll probably go like half an hour at best, maybe half an hour to an hour at best. So this is a solo stream for this Friday in this afternoon. Okay, because I have stuff to do. Even with one dude, it could go. It could even one dude could go on long. Trust me, this is a solo stream today. Okay. Nothing personal. It's just I gotta get. This is gonna be a short stream because I have stuff to do. A little bit later on. But yeah, Gunther and Jey Uso. Now I don't think anybody saw this coming. I don't think anybody saw Jey Uso losing to Gunther the title. I didn't see it coming, but it says more about this to me says more about Jey Uso than Gunther. Okay? It says more to me about Blood Money Punk. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Jey Uso, if you really think about it, Jey Uso got a title as a consolation prize. Like a participation trophy WrestleMania. That's how I see it. He wasn't really he shouldn't really got the title. But I feel like, you know what? You done so good. Here's your participation trophy. And in WWE, the participation trophy is that freaking title at WrestleMania. But he was really going to be a long-term champion for months or to a year and out. He was destined to be kind of a transitional champion. Transitional champion. A transitional champion. Okay? And that was clearly it. And you could tell, like, I never bought in the idea that he was a long-term champion. Jey Uso doesn't have, it's not Cody, it's not Cena, it's not Gunther, it's not Seth, or Roman. He's not in that category where they should hold it. And he's not really, as his name says, main event Jey Uso, he's not really a main eventer. Okay. Yeah, he main evented with Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Logan Paul, but those three are a lot more popular than Jey Uso. Okay. Jey Uso, it felt like, yeah, you know what? We let you be champion. You do good. You know, it's time. It's time for Gunther to get the belt back. Okay. And it's clearly shown here. I mean, he got his child here. And look, Jey Uso's over. His entrance is over. He walks out he comes down from the aisles, right? He comes down the aisles along. right through the crowd and does the hands in the air, waves in the air, that thing, the Jey Uso thing. That's over. I don't think it's I don't I don't know if him losing the title is gonna dampen that or it's gonna kill it. But Gunther to me is so more dangerous, more of a world champ to me is more of a somebody that you see as a world champion, right? Than somebody like Jey Uso. Jey Uso is in his 40s. So I see more like as a singles guy, he's better to me. He's suited more for an intercontinental picture, mid card. And yes, mid card sometimes get to the main event level in some storylines, but get back down reducing to the mid card intercontinental U.S. title picture, and that's okay. WWE right now is so stacked that a lot of world champions or could be involved in the mid card title. World champion contenders, potential superstars. All right, right. And Gunther's clearly. We always knew Gunther was going to be the main eventer as world champion one day. It was always nobody saw that with Jey Uso. If the bloodline was the best thing the Roman Reigns bloodline story was the best thing that happened to Jey Uso. Best thing. That was organic too, right? That was all organic because the Usos were just a tag team. That was going to be the same position if it wasn't for the bloodline. Gunther, on the other hand, was always a single star. Was always a single superstar, even in his NXT time there days as Walter, because he was called Walter a little bit in NXT UK. We always knew this guy's gonna be a world champion if he ever crossed over to WWE. Nobody saw that with Jey Uso. And what's a possible future with now with Gunther as a world champion? What is the new future with Gunther as a world champion? Right? Okay. All right. So what's next for Gunther, right? Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Is Gunther gonna turn face, or still be an arrogant prick heel? It's like I'm better than you. I'm all about wrestling. Okay. Because look, Walter is dead. Gunther lives on. Shut up. Okay. Like, where's everybody? Feel free to super chat me, membership gift me for some reason. 5 memberships here is like $25 for some reason. Don't know why. Okay. Gunther cannot be a face. They might turn him face. It really depends on the Seth Rollins thing. Seth Rollins. The story of Seth Rollins. Because Seth Rollins and his gang are clearly the top heels. Well, Seth Rollins is clearly the top heel on the brand, and it might be him because Seth Rollins' goal is to eventually become champion too, right? He wants the title. He feels like what's best for WWE is him having the title, and he needs that from Gunther because Gunther now is the champion. He can't take it from Jey Uso anymore, right? Which is weird, right? Right now, if he wants a title, it has to be Gunther, right? It has to be Gunther or Gunther or Gunner is that's right now, right? So I really we gotta see this Monday how things are happening, right? With Gunther as world champion and how it's not dead or alive, buddy. Okay. How's Gunther? What's Gunther? What's it like for Gunther now going forward as a champion? What is the path? How is that me? Now for Jey Uso, how does he recover from this? Right? How does he go from this? How does he go from this? The Jey Uso recover from this loss because it is a big loss, like biggest loss of his career, right? And it tells more about like him. Now his direction, right? What's the direction for Jey Uso? Dead or alive? It could be both. I think. I think DOA. I think it could be both. It depends on the context. Okay. But Gunther, his funny thing is we haven't seen Ludwig. What's his name? Yeah, his other guy. No, what's his name? Kaiser. Ludwig Kaiser. Kaiser. Wing General. Tiffany. Oh, you want to see something funny? I could get away with it, right? I think I could get away with it, can I? Did you see this? Did you see this, Red? Um, did you see this? You see Tiffany Stratton? Let's watch it again. Let's watch it again, Red. Red, let's watch it again. That was horrible. Dumb. Dumb. Okay. Okay. That was bad. Okay. And look, I. Right? All right. So yeah. So whatever. CM Punk. CM Punk is gonna face John Cena, right? At Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia at the end of the month, right? Now CM Punk's getting a lot of flank, a lot of heat, a lot of people calling him a hypocrite. Blood Money Punk, yeah. Okay. And so he's getting a lot of heat because CM Punk, how many 2 or 3 years ago, was shitting on WWE for taking blood money from Saudi Arabia, right? They have their show to have go to Saudi Arabia 2 or 3 times a year, and he was taking shots at WWE because you know CM Punk, like CM Punk is very. I gotta see this. I gotta see this. CM Punk is very. Oh my god! Yeah, that's it. CM Punk is very. How can I say this? Woke, maybe, maybe like that, right? Yeah, very very woke. I mean, this he seems like a guy that's not like that, but if you could tell, but he is, and a lot of people are a lot of people are taking shots at him for that. The funny thing is, like, you know what? Money talks, man. Money talks, and he is contractually obligated, and might have to go, might have to go there. And, like they told him, you have to go. And look. The thing is, maybe his views changed on it because Saudi Arabia over the years, Fox over the years, especially since the Fox days, over the years in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, good red. Yeah, exactly. Because over the years in Saudi Arabia, right? Yeah, well, at the beginning, no women can wrestle, right? Women can't wrestle. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn couldn't go because of his Syrian heritage in Syria and Saudi Arabia. Things going on between the two at the time. Kevin Owens respected his friend. Um, Kevin Owens went. Okay. John Cena went. Okay. It's going. Eventually, as time went on, they let women wrestle. Still technically covered. Still technically covered. They can't not normal wrestling attire that they wear here in the States or in Canada or in Europe. Is he? Is he red? I don't know. But women were allowed to go wrestle, but they have to be all covered up. As the law states in Saudi Arabia, the women have to be covered up, right? Sami Zayn, I mean, Sami Zayn started to go there because relations between Syria and I think Saudi Arabia were getting better. I don't know. Here's the thing. I think you gotta understand. I don't think they're doing. I think they're going not because of political reasons. I think they're going because there are fans in Saudi Arabia. There's fans in these countries, and these fans in these countries that don't deserve to be persecuted for the country's actions. Okay. maybe that's it. Maybe it's, if you don't know, Saudi Arabia. Look, Saudi Arabia is they're the country. They're getting involved in a lot of businesses. All right, a lot of sports. They have the Live, another golf company, golf league. Getting involved in car racing, soccer, football, whatever you want to call it overseas. They're getting involved in a lot of things, and they're trying to be. It's one of the few Arab Middle Eastern countries that's getting a little bit more progressive. Yeah, the women's Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia only have like 10 entrants maximum. This is gonna, yeah, and people are not happy that the Royal Rumble is gonna be in Saudi. I think that's a legit case there, not because of the right. I think that's something more serious. But Saudi Arabia is trying to be a little bit more progressive than some other Middle Eastern countries. I mean, I think I'd rather have an event in Saudi Arabia than freaking Afghanistan or Pakistan. No disrespect to Pakistani people or Afghanistan or people from those countries. It's just there's a little bit more. It's just Saudi Arabia just has a little bit more. There's a little bit more freedom for some people, for the citizens of that country. I'm not saying like it's perfect because no country is perfect, but it's one of the few Muslim countries that's trying over time to be less fundamentalist. Right? Is that the word I would use? Right? Yeah, UFC. They do UFC there. I mean, look, not just Saudi Arabia. You got other Middle Eastern countries there. Like people love Qatar. 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 There's a lot of companies. There's a lot of companies and sports companies that go to Qatar. But Qatar, the rights of Qatar, the country of Qatar, is Qatar a country? But with Qatar in general, is actually worse than Saudi Arabia. Really worse than Saudi Arabia. Okay, like they're worse than Saudi Arabia. Okay, and the World Cup. If they wanted to be political, the World Cup should never went to soccer should never went to Qatar. But blood money from Qatar. So I think Saudi Arabia is a better country in the Middle East than some of the other countries I mentioned. Abu Dhabi, yeah. They probably would go to Abu Dhabi. Okay. Now, look, there's still some things about Saudi Arabia that are not what we in the West receive as we're in the West we receive as tolerable or accepted. Even though there's some people who don't know the shit about the Middle East and hate the West and think the East is and think the East is the Middle East is a victim, where the Middle East is not a victim. It's the people in the country that have nothing. The citizens are the victims. It's the governments and the terrorist organizations that are that's the oppressors. But right, but people in the West are being manipulated and thinking that the Western society is on the wrong side of history, not history, but the wrong side. Well, history and the wrong side of progress. The, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Red. Yeah. Thank you. Right. There's a problem we have in the West right now, where some some people in the West are being lied and manipulated about how Western civilization compared to Eastern civilization. You don't want to live. I'm sorry, you don't want to live in Eastern civilization. Okay, Eastern civilization is not democratic. Okay, Western civilization is democratic, but Eastern civilization is not democratic. Okay, okay, and I read knows what I'm talking about. I mean, I didn't want to make this political. I just know from okay. Saudi Arabia is The thing is, they talk about how trying to destroy Western society, people in the West, some people in the West. But it's funny, Saudi Arabia is trying to, well, not always, but trying to incorporate Western values. And exactly. And here's the thing, though. Paul Heyman goes there, right? Paul Heyman goes there, and yeah, she's like, there's you. Jewish and Christians too, Red. Jewish and Christians, not just Jewish. There are no there's barely any Jews in the Middle East unless they're in Israel. But there's barely any Jews in the Middle East because they're always treated badly, poorly there. Same with the Christians. Some of the Middle Eastern countries are majority Christians. So, but not anymore. Like, here's the okay. Okay. And Saudi Arabia is trying to be less strict, be maybe more moderate. Is that the word? They're not okay. Okay. Why do people in the West want to live like that? I tell people in the West who think Western society is wrong. I tell them, yeah, go to fucking Iran. I know the shit going on in Iran and Israel, but go to fucking Iran and protest women's rights in Iran. You want to protest women's rights in Iran? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay? Want to protest women's rights in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, in Yemen, or Lebanon? Go ahead. Go ahead. Wanna have a gay parade in some of these Middle Eastern countries? Go ahead. Go ahead. Guess what? Guess what? Don't complain. Don't complain when it doesn't go away. Because you know why you're not going to complain? Because you'll be dead. So you won't have a chance to complain. Fucking idiots in the West. I know I'm calling out. I'm calling out the stupid far left. I'm calling out the stupid far left that think with their feelings and don't do facts. Yeah. Yeah, this is exactly true. This is exactly true, Brad. Exactly. It's funny because some Middle Eastern countries, not just Saudi, some Middle Eastern countries are trying to be more moderate. They want to be more moderate. Some, okay? Okay. And so I understand why maybe CM Punk is seeing that. Yeah, but yeah, of course, Red, of course. Now, like, look, that's one of the reasons Sami Zayn now is going there. Look, like, you could criticize John Cena. John Cena is one of the biggest is a big movie star now, biggest wrestler. I don't see anybody criticizing John Cena for going over to Saudi because he's been there before. That's true. Sorry. Maybe he was a hypocrite, but you know what? He said that in the Fox days. Guess what? Things change. Things change. Uh, countries change over the years. Okay. Germany is not Germany. A good example: Germany is not 1930s, 1940s Germany anymore. Japan is not 1940s Japan anymore. Okay, like, yeah, Kuwait. Like, are we gonna what? We can't have wrestling in Germany or Japan because of World War II. It's not like, come on. Yeah, that's true, Red. Because of Kuwait and Iraqi conflict and all that stuff. Yeah, Iraq conflict. But okay. Okay. Come on, like, if you want to know, you want to talk about shit, just talk about WCW going to fucking North Korea in the '90s. Okay, that's worse than what Saudi was doing. WCW went to North Korea. It's 1,000 times worse then WWE went going to Saudi Arabia. Here's the thing: if WWE announced going to North Korea today, that's million times worse than going to Saudi Arabia. Million times worse. Okay? And it's funny, it feels like the West is heading towards kind of an Eastern civilization, and the East is trying to be more West. It's like the East is trying to be West. It's like the West is trying to be more East, and the East is trying to be more West. It's ridiculous, man. You don't want your country to resemble like the East, okay? You want your countries, okay? The East wants to resemble the West. We don't want to resemble the East. Yeah, man. Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is one of the. You're right. Tel Aviv is one of the biggest LGBT cities in the world. Tel Aviv. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because it's never read the far left. They can't accept because it's never really about Palestine. They can't really accept that they're anti-Semitic. Some of them, or they're racist themselves. They can't accept that they're because the far left always sees the right as racist, but the far left can't accept that they have racism in their ideology too. Okay, and they always have this idea that everybody needs to be a victim. Everybody needs to be a victim. Okay, you know what? You know my people, the Jewish people. Yeah, we're getting shit on right now. Oh, because they're ties to Israel, whatever. You know, we suffered so much for many years and for the millenniums. Do you know what? You know what we do better than other cultures? Most cultures, we persevere. We persevere. We don't lose faith. We persevere. That's why we're successful, despite people trying to get rid of us. We're successful. We're a successful culture, people. Okay. Okay. Education is important to us. Okay. And do they really look that red? Thank you. There's my point. Thank you. Red extremism on both sides is a recipe for disaster. Recipe for disaster. Okay? And the stuff that's going down in LA and some other cities, the riots, the protests, I'm gonna say this. You have a right to a peaceful protest, but you don't have a fucking right to graffiti people's businesses, loot businesses. And how is that helping? How is that? One of those businesses are the people you're trying to defend. One of those, you know, you saw that one video. You saw that one video. Remember that one clip that came out yesterday about that weird looking guy, and that woman. This is a black woman wants to get to work, right? Wants to get to work, support her kid, right? Support her kid. Okay. And you know those people, they're very far left too, and they're like, what about the kids that are being taken away? Like, and then one person in the video is like, you're not letting this black woman go to work, go to her job. And that guy is like, oh no, a job. A job. Sure, Red, of course. A job. By the way, here's the thing. Under the Democratic leadership, there was they were deporting people that are not supposed to be here. It's just that when Trump came in, it became more rampant because they want to attack Trump. Set off fireworks. But yeah, but like these are not these people in the streets, have become they have become anarchists. Anarchists. And anarchists are never good things. Anarchists always leads to people getting hurt and killed. Killed. And that's a false civilization. Okay? No, look, if they're legally allowed to be here in the US and Canada, fine, fine. Right? If they're legally allowed, but like technically technically if you're whatever expired and you're not allowed to be here, you have to get it renewed. Technically, they could deport you. Technically, they're allowed to deport you back to wherever country you come from, even if you haven't done anything wrong here. Technically, you're still considered okay. I mean, I just hate I just like a Katy Perry statement. Mexico used to be, LA, California used to be part of Mexico. Yeah, for a few days. So was Texas and New Mexico and all those. But you know what else? But the U.S. colonized Los Angeles, colonized those states, right? Because they took them in the war and all of that, right? And I'm like, you want to know something? You want to know something else? Who fucking colonized Mexico? You think the Mexicans are indigenous to that country? No disrespect. I'm not. Listen. I'm not attacking Mexicans in general. Like I'm just saying, when you're speaking about colonization, people have to this stupid idea. A stupid idea. Everything. Colonization is bad. Guess what? Colonization has been there since year one. Year one. Year one. Year one. Mexico, guys, was colonized by the Spaniards. You know who was living there before the Spaniards? The Mayans and other tribe-like groups. Okay? And guess what? The Mexican descendants are descendants of the Spanish. People from Spanish. And guess what? Spain was also colonized, too. Okay? Everybody was colonized at some point in the history of the world. And guess what? Guess what? When me, Red, and other people are dead, it's going to keep happening. It's going to keep happening. Okay? All right, let's go back. So it's only about Sion, but guess what, guys? The world is not black and white. Okay? Just accept it. It's not black and white. And that's the problem with the far right and the far left. They think the world is black and white. It's not. That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true, Red. See, like it's. Thank you. Exactly. Like, come on, guys. Come on, guys. Yeah, thank you, Red. The Red's giving us a lesson here. Oh my god. Thank you, Red. But let's get back. Okada betrays Omega. This is Red stuff now. I'm sorry. I mean, I should have been ended. All right, let's get back to wrestling. I don't know why I got political. I don't talk political here. I'm just tired. I'm just tired of the bullshit, politics wise, and people not thinking with the brain, thinking with their heart. You don't think with your heart, man. You think with your fucking brain, because the heart will lie to you. Okay. Okay. All right. So Yeah, Kenny. So, why do you feel red about Okada joining Don Callis family? Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly, because he turns on Omega the contract signing, right? And then Don Callis comes out, and the fucking thing is, we all knew Okada was gonna turn on him. Okada was standing behind them, and Omega's like, "I know all your tricks. I know all your tricks." Callis and Don Callis, that's a sign that's a sign. That's just that's just basically giving away that Okada was gonna turn on him at the end. You think so? I think the Okada. I think the Okada Omega match should main event All In. I know Hangman and Moxley are facing each other, but I think the Okada Omega match should main event All In. I know it's not for the they're combining the belt into one, right? Right? It's for what's the title? Takasha, yeah, but Takasha needed it because the thing is, it helped Takasha become where he is now. But Okada was already established as New Japan. He doesn't really need it. He doesn't really need it, right? Like Takasha work for Okada, maybe. But what's the title what's the new title that they're combining it into called again? I forget. But that was a good segment. You see how they attacked where he had was it Divertis? I don't know. Divertis, right? And you see the attack, and you see Kenny Omega spitting out blood. That was a great scene. This is personal, man. Personal now. Yeah. That was an incredible opening match. I'll say this: Osprey and Swerve Scott. That was an incredible opening match. Really, really good opening match. And then Osprey taking the super kicks from the Young Bucks with the spike shoe and to sacrifice himself in front of Swerve. Oh my god. Unified Championship. Okay. Okay. It's supposed to be an upper mid card title. Yeah, but I mean, with Omega and yeah, I mean, it is an upper mid card title. It is an upper card mid card title, right? Technically. Okay. Because it's not the championship. Maybe it'll be like maybe they'll have two upper mid card titles, right? The AEW World Championship and this title, right? And like, what's happened to the TNT? Is it becoming more prestige than TNT title? Is that what's going to become? Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. That's good. That's a good point. Good point. But like Dynamite, like I mean, AEW is good right now. Okay, AEW is actually pretty good right now. It's really interesting right now. It's really good right now. And okay, thank you, Red. AEW is really good right now. They're hitting on all cylinders right now. So I th- it's been really good. It's been actually quite good. AEW. I like the stories they're telling right now. Um, But also, I'm glad to see Wong Killings is back and killing it right now in AEW. No, not AEW, but Wong Killings is back. Took care, right? R-Truth is dead now. Wong Killings is back. And now oh yeah, now they're trying to get Stan Leonard involved with Maria Shafir, right? It's Wheeler Yuta, because Wheeler Yuta and Stan Leonard have history going back to the Best Friends Day. Oh, what? What's Don Casa stable is huge, man. Who the hell is a Don Casa stable now? Like a full stable, Don Casa stable. Look at the names. Don Callis family. Don Callis, Takasha, Kyle Fletcher, Trent Beretta, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Mark Davis, Josh Alexander, Joaquin Ramiro, and Hannah Kiro. That's a blur. That's a big stable. Big stable. It's funny though. Joaquin Ramiro is reunited with Okada in the Don Callis family because Joaquin Ramiro was part of Chaos in New Japan, right? And Joaquin Ramiro was friends with Okada, right? Right? In New Japan, they're buddies in New Japan, right? In the same stable. So Tony D'Angelo family sucks. I don't even think he has a family anymore. Um, but yeah, all right, man. I think yeah. How long the okay? Well, I think I'm done for the day. About 50 minutes. So I think I'm gonna do this every Friday, and obviously every Monday and Friday. I think I'm gonna do a stream. Hopefully with Finbar, it comes back in not February, in July. He'll join me for some things. I don't believe we have a prediction. I don't think we have anything for this week, right? But we do have. Oh yeah. Oh. I watched TNA. The inspiration. Billy Kay. Well, not Billy Kay, but Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. I hate that name. Blake Monroe is a bad name. But the inspiration are back in TNA. Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, Jesse McKay, and Cassie Lee are back in TNA. I would think they should go back. I would think they go back to WB. Okay, that's how you know. So if you watch TNA, the inspiration are back. You know the former Iconics, right, from WB. Yeah, Red. Hopefully, but thank you guys.